If you are the parent of a cautious, slow to warm child, if your child's been labeled as shy, if your child is just a natural introvert, I am about to rock your world with my ultimate holiday gift guide and survival tool. If you're a post-traumatic parent and this kind of content speaks to you because you're trying to give your kids the healthy childhood you never had, if as a post-traumatic parent, you know how difficult your own anxiety was for you, and now watching your child suffer and struggle, especially in social situations, feels intolerable, especially if you're getting feedback from people all around you where you have the people who are just like, just force them to go. They just have to learn. And then you have those people who say, oh, just leave them home and don't make them. And then you're reading a lot about gentle parenting and you're not sure, what do I do about grandma's holiday party? She expects my kid there. My kid is really uncomfortable in these situations. What do I do? So I have the perfect games and toys and picture books that I have hacked for helping your introverted kid handle the holidays. First, let's normalize introversion with a couple of picture books. This is Violet Shrink by Christine Baldacchino. You can get this book wherever you find picture books, like on Amazon. It's a book about a little girl named Violet who really doesn't like social situations. And she and her dad finally come up with a plan for how Violet's going to handle social situations, how she'll signal to her dad when something feels like too much pressure, how she'll find a safe space to go where she can have some alone time and recharge herself, and then she can come and rejoin the party. It's a really great book for talking to a child about, yeah, parties can be big and loud and overwhelming. And sometimes you don't know where to put yourself. And sometimes grown-ups ask really stupid and pointless questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up? As though at age 5, you have that all figured out and planned out, or at age 10. So that can be difficult. Another great book that I don't have here is called Don't Hug Doug. It's by Carrie Finneson, and it's a fantastic book for kids who don't like to be touched and helps them normalize and understand how to handle the fact that they have that boundary about their body. This is especially good for those of us who want to honor our kids' body boundaries, but perhaps are coming from families that don't quite get that. To talk to kids about the anxiety-provoking situations that they're dealing with, I like the book I'm Not Scared by Anna King and illustrated by Christopher Wyant, their husband-wife duo. And what I love about this book is it really lets us talk about the concept of fear, this idea that fear is just our body preparing us for danger, giving us a lot of adrenaline and cortisol. These are hormones that get us ready. So if we're going to run somewhere, or we're going to go down a slide, or there's going to be a fire alarm, something where we need a lot of energy, those hormones are really helpful to us because they give us a lot of energy. But when we're feeling fear and we're supposed to be sitting around the table at grandma's house having a family dinner, and we're feeling all this adrenaline, but we have nowhere to go because we've got to sit politely at the table, it feels really hard. To normalize to a child the idea that the sensations of fear that they're having are actually simply their body trying to handle a challenge. And yeah, Thanksgiving dinner at grandma's might be a challenge. It might be scary. There might be unfamiliar grown-ups. They might ask stupid questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up? It might feel intolerable. And that's okay. We can have some sort of a signal, and then you can go. Now, here are my products. So we're sitting at grandma's table and it's feeling a little hard to sit still for so long, or we're in a long car ride on the way to a holiday party and we're excited and nervous. This is it's called Goo Tubes. It's by Sky Castle, and basically it's the best fidget ever. You can press the fidget, and you see how sensory it is and how fun it is. I actually left it in the package, so I'm going to take it out of the packaging now. And it is beyond enjoyable, kind of an addictive, you get it out of the package, kind of this addictive squishy that you could use. So if we're sitting at grandma's house, listening to somebody's long-winded talk, and we can't sit so long, because remember, in the word emotion is the word motion. When we feel a lot of emotion, we want to move. So sometimes we can't quite move, but we can fidget in place. Sometimes not. Sometimes we can say, okay, Uncle Henry, I think we're going to let the small children leave the table now, and we can listen to the story about the giant fish that you caught a couple of years ago, right? And we can get rid of the kids and let the kids go play and let them escape from that prison that unfortunately as adults we sometimes have to actually sit through. But for the kids now, this is a great fidget, like I said, in that car ride, and they have a lot of very cute themed ones. So this is a fantastic fidget toy for, like I said, long car rides or those uncomfortable situations at grandma's house when we've got to sit still. We don't have a lot of room for movement, but we still need to move and fidget a bit. Fantastic toy. I also love all of the Bunmo line of fidgets because they're very satisfying to play with. They're very good quality. I have tried many, many fidgets in my office for kids doing therapy. Have had tons. You don't want a fidget that's going to break under the weight of somebody's anxiety. You don't want a fidget that feels flimsy in your hand. Bunmo's fidgets they're just really, really, really high quality and fun. And the best part of them is you can wear them. So if we're going to grandma's house and we need to keep a fidget with us, we can actually put it on, turn it into like a bracelet, and then I can fidget with it as needed. So this is like a suction cup one. So I can put the suction cups together and then I can rip them apart. I can play with the textured outside. Another way of keeping me busy, either during the car ride. You know, this might be something we do when we're anxious outside the dentist's office. So we might sit there in the chair outside the dentist's office using these fidgets, see how they're stuck together, and I'm going to pull them apart, and it feels really good. When I have time to actually sit there and put each one together, they make a really loud and satisfying noise when you pull them apart. And it's just really enjoyable. And again, like I said, you can wear them, and then it's that textured outside that you can also just play with and feel. A great way of feeling calm and making yourself feel better. One more hidden fidget that I really like is we can wear like slap bracelets, and as we wear the slap bracelet, we can slap the slap bracelet and make ourselves feel more comfortable. Now, this gets even better. This is ear fort. This little unassuming ear fort actually blows up to this giant tent. All you need is a box fan, so this does require a little bit of advanced planning, but once you blow it up, you have this giant kind of room where you can sit. It's tall. Small children can sit in there. So you could set this up as the sensory space inside grandma's house. Any little kids who need a break can go in here, and then we accept that they need a little bit of a break. You can stack it with a couple of picture books, maybe some fidgets, maybe some coloring books. You guys can go into the ear fort and you can take a break, calm down, de-stress yourself, and then come out again and rejoin society when you're ready. This is going to save your kid's life at the holiday party. It's going to save your sanity. I also use ear fort sometimes as an extra cozy bedtime story. Like instead of reading bedtime stories in bed, we have the ear fort up, and like that becomes this really quiet nook to read. I have found my middle schooler doing her homework in the ear fort because the sound that the box fan makes is very soothing. It almost sounds like a white noise machine, and she finds she can concentrate and focus. It's almost like she's voluntarily putting herself into a sort of sensory blocked environment where she doesn't see her siblings running around. She's not distracted by all her stuff. She's like in this little tent and she's just doing her homework. And then when she goes out, she feels like, oh, did my homework. It was productive. So fantastic way of making your cautious, slow to warm kid feel like they have an escape route when they're at grandma's house. They are not stuck. And now they just have to endure hours of socialization and adults asking stupid questions. Another fantastic product for your cautious, slow to warm, somewhat anxious kid is Snuggle Puppy Hero. I use this with my own kids. It is my favorite product, my favorite toy fair find. by far. So this is actually a little pet dog. It comes from, you may have seen these for pets. So it comes from that concept where you have this little dog, really delicious sensation when you touch its fur. It's soft and it has some heft to it. When you turn on the little heart that's inside of it, it comes with this little heart. You turn it on and it actually makes a heartbeat that then feels really soothing. You put it back in, close it up, and then you can lay down and you can feel this heartbeat slow and calm, sort of cuddle up with your puppy, and it really soothes you to sleep. I have a first grader who has a hard time falling asleep. She just can't turn her brain off from all the exciting things that happen in first grade and all the things she has to worry about and all her what ifs. And one of the big things that we do is every night we read bedtime stories, and then we turn on Snuggle Puppy, we put him on her chest, and she just falls asleep. And it's beautiful to see how quickly she soothes herself to sleep. So this is my gift guide, more for parents of introverted or cautious, slow to warm kids. It's my survival guide so that your kid is going to feel, I am supported. My parents get me. They understand these situations are hard and they're gonna make them easier. And when you explain a child's neurology to them, when you talk about having a brain that's cautious and slow to warm, which means it takes longer to get comfortable in social situations. It takes longer to decide if you like someone. It's easy for that kind of brain to get overwhelmed by too much, too fast, too loud, right? Which kind of reminds us of our trauma. So if you're a post-traumatic parent, especially if you have panic attacks or flashbacks, you know exactly what too much, too fast, too loud, too intense, what that feels like. So when you see your child going through that, that can be really scary and painful because you think, is my kid going through what I went through? Is my child doing this? But the key difference is your child's not alone in it. They have you, and you have this gift guide, these picture books, these toys, and you are helping them through it. Do not allow any family members, when you do something like that, when you set up an earfort and you say, you know, whenever Molly needs a break, she's going to go into her earfort. So, and I'm going to ask all the adults to respect that and give her space. And you have that great Aunt Bertha or that know-it-all brother who says like, my children just did as they were told. You're going to teach her to have bad manners. She's going to be a snowflake, right? Know that I am a child psychologist and I am saying this is what you do. If you want, by nature, I happen to be an introvert and a cautious, slow to warm person, but I present as a very confident person because I am confident. I have the social skills and I am not afraid. So why? Because I've learned those skills, but I've learned those skills because I gave myself the time to warm up to them, to learn them, to be okay with them. When you show a child, I am supporting you through this challenge, you are not raising a snowflake. What you are raising is a child who knows their neurology, understands why they feel afraid, understands what overwhelm is, and knows how to handle it, and feels supported by the adults in their life who they can go to and say, I need a break now. And the adult has a plan, right? Same thing with body boundaries. We know now from so many child safety educators that it is not wise to force a child to hug an adult. It teaches them to disrespect their body's signals, to disregard the little uh-oh voice that, like Gavin D. Becker tells us, is in the child's stomach. If you disregard your little uh-oh voice when you're told to hug grandpa or sit on Uncle Mark's lap, then you're going to ignore that little uh-oh voice when somebody tells you that you should get into his car. So my child's body boundaries are my child's body boundaries, and supporting those simply raises resilience. It makes children who know that they can come to us for help with the things they need help with. And that is what creates resilient adults. So yes, your trauma app in the back of your brain sees your child's anxiety and says, oh no, it's happening to them. What happened to me? And what we have to say back to the trauma app is, delete your permissions for parenting, because you're not parenting my kid, trauma. I am parenting my kid. And there's a crucial difference between my kid and me. My kid has me. If you like this content, if you want more post-traumatic parenting tips, please click below and subscribe. You can also find us on Instagram, where the post-traumatic parenting community hangs out. We're at Dr. Kozlowitz Psychology. You can also check out the post-traumatic parenting podcasts available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, the post-traumatic parenting book is forthcoming. Till next time.